If an attacker was enumerating all the users in your tenant, would you be able to detect it? Let me show you both the attack and defense. All right, so we're here in the adversary lab, and I'm running a command that makes a GET request to the Graph API and returns all of the users within the Azure tenant. I'm going to go ahead and click enter. As you can see, we have the display name, the user principal name, job title, and department. The user principal name is one of the most important columns here, as it provides the actual email address that's used to authenticate with Azure. Additionally, an attacker can use both job title and department in order to map and understand the key employees within a given tenant's infrastructure. Now that I've showed you how to do the attack, let's go ahead and build the detection. All right, so we're here in the adversary lab and have a query that we're using in order to detect this activity. I'm going to copy a portion of this command just so that we can understand how it works. All right, so as you can see here, we have the Microsoft Graph activity logs, which is a table where the actual logs are housed. Next is a pipe where request method equals get. This is looking for the request method and the value equals get. Here we have where request URI has /users. This specifically looks for the actual /users within a request URI. And additionally, we have where time generated greater than ago 15 minutes. That'll help us clean up, as these logs can be very noisy. We'll go ahead and hit run. All right, and as you can see, we have two values here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the drop down arrow here, and we'll scroll down. The one thing that I want to note within the request is that user ID is an object ID. So it doesn't really help us to understand what user actually did this activity. But what we're going to do is build what's called a lookup. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my pasted query. Basically, I'm going to copy this section. We're going to paste it over. And briefly, basically what we're doing is we're pulling out the actual user ID from the sign-in logs, and we're basically looking for the most recent value within the past 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and do is highlight this and run it again. Right, as you can see, we still have two values. So if we scroll down, you'll see time generated 1 UTC, and this is actually the time that the user logged in, and then the actual user ID, which is adversary@purpleshellsecurity.com. Now, in order to make this cleaner, we need to add what's called the project statement. What we'll go ahead and do is copy this, so like this, and we'll highlight this again. Right, as you can see, we basically have cleaned up values here. I'll go ahead and pull this drop down arrow. You can see the time generated, the user principal name, the request method, the request URI, and then the response status code 200, which means that it was successful. All right, so that was the attack and defense. If you want to simulate attacks like these, build detections, and build a portfolio for your career, feel free to check out the Adversary Lab community, link in the description below. Hope you found this helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one.